Okay, here's a quick overview of a disassembled transmission. What a giant mess of parts. This is your main shaft. This is the middle of the transmission case, which holds all the bearings. Counter shaft, main shaft. This is the counter shaft right here. These are your shifter forks. Input shaft, fourth gear. This is what plugs into the clutch splines. This goes into the back of the eccentric shaft. There's a pilot bearing there. And then these are your gears on the main shaft. Again, these are the gears on the counter shaft. These are brand new synchronizers. This is for fifth, second, third, fourth. Reverse has its own synchronizer. So let's check out the counter shaft. This would be the front part. This is fourth gear, third, second, first, reverse, and then fifth is in the very back, near the tail of the transmission. The main shaft, this is your input shaft, fourth gear. Now fourth gear, this right here connects to here, and I'll show that to you later. This runs the entire transmission all the time, no matter what gear you're in. This gear is driving the entire transmission box. So when you're in fourth, it's just this one. When you're in third, it's this one connecting to third, and so far down the line. This one takes a beating right here. The way a synchronizer, let's take fifth gear here. It's very small. Synchronizer fits onto this slider here. It actually rotates like this when transmission's in action, and it helps negotiate the shift. So you see here, these little grooves that are in here. This is where the oil helps lubricate this deal. So if you're banging gears, quick shifting, doing all that kind of stuff that we think makes the cars go faster, which it actually doesn't, and you miss a gear and you hear it grinding, this thing is taking a beating when it grinds. And if this gets beat up, what'll happen is it'll change shape, it'll warp, or it won't be perfectly round. So then it won't float on here. And when it won't float on here, that's when you're gonna get a grind every shift, because it can't do its job. So these are 15, 20 bucks if you're able to buy from Mazda direct. So I'm gonna assemble some of this and then show you some more. All right, here it is. This right here is the main shaft of the transmission. You have your input shaft, which we saw earlier. This is the front main bearing. Fourth gear, third, second. This is gonna go into this plate, which we'll do next. And then on the back side here, we'll have reverse and fifth. And first gear is not used in the race car. First gear weighs more than second and third combined. So you can see how the synchronizers fit in here. See, the gear will spin. You see how the synchronizer will help the shift forks All right, the shift fork slides on here, and then when you move the shift lever, the gear shifter in your car, it moves this back and forth. So this will slide onto, this piece will slide over onto here. That would be engaging third gear, or it'll slide over this way on top of this, engaging fourth gear. And you see how the synchronizer is in there, and it helps this deal negotiate. This will be spinning, and as it slides over, this will slide over and engages the gear. Then you got that gear for drive of the car. Be right back. All right, next step, we pushed these guys, mated them together, slid them into the center plate of the transmission. And here's your bearings, main shaft, and then this is the counter shaft bearing. So you see how these guys all mesh together. These are your two shift selectors that the forks go on. So again, we have fourth gear. This is input. This spline fits into the clutch disc. Fourth, third, second, first belongs here. Countershaft, fourth, third, second, first. Back here, we're gonna have reverse. All of this is going on next. Fifth gear rides here. And then all the rest of this stuff fits together. Okay, we got a whole bunch of this transmission assembled now. This is from the opposite direction. Here's your input shaft, fourth, third, second, first, missing. These are the shift selector forks. See how they go around? They go around this deal. And when you shift, this will slide forward, moving this over the synchronizer onto the gear like we talked about. Here's your counter shaft, everything's lined up. Now we got reverse, gear in place, it has a synchronizer. And then this is fifth gear, all the way in the back of the transmission. And here's your main bearings that go into the case. Here's your main bearings in the front that go into the case. Now what I've done without the case on is I put on these shift selectors, and I want to show you what happens when you move your shifter. This is without the case on, okay? This arm goes through the case and it fits into here. So as you move, and then let me show you here. This is the cup that the bottom ball of the shifter fits into, if you can imagine this. See that? Okay. Now, this would be your third, fourth gate in the middle. And then when you rotate your shifter, it'll grab this guy, which works first and second, back to third and fourth, and then down here is fifth and reverse. This is all that's happening when you move your shift lever from the left to the right. And when you move it forward and backwards, connects here and move these shift forks. So I hope this was helpful. This is the rear splines that the front part of the drive shaft slides over. All right, here's a little more. This is the rear portion of the transmission case, the tail. And I wanted to show you guys this. Inside here, there's no seal. There's normally a seal here that the drive shaft plugs into, and what the seal does is it keeps the fluid from leaking out, obviously. Inside here is a brass bushing. So here's one that's been removed. There we go. It's pressed in, fits in here. And if you want to take a look at this one, it's pretty tore up. See all the grooves? So it's from a drive shaft in a race car that probably wasn't balanced properly, or maybe wasn't balanced to spin up to over 10,000. And then here we got a fresh one. Not sure if you can see it, but I can assure you there's no grooves. That's the idea. Here's a fresh one. See how smooth it is? That's what you want. I hope this has been helpful for you to get an idea of what's going on inside the transmission when you're shifting gears, and how important it is not to speed shift, because this thing is not meant to do that. All the best to everybody. Thanks for tuning in.